There is a digital vault out there containing a massive, untouched fortune in Bitcoin, the origin point of a $2.4 trillion asset class. For 17 years, investigators have tried to identify the specific individual with the authority to move those coins. But the creator, Satoshi Nakamoto, successfully masked his physical location and IP addresses behind layers of encryption and anonymous routing. But every digital interaction requires a human at the keyboard. To identify Satoshi, we have to look past the code and find the specific patterns in the way he actually thought and spoke. The record of those patterns has been preserved for nearly 2 decades, buried within the public archives of the early internet. Long before Bitcoin, the ideas that built it were debated on obscure message boards known as the cypherpunk and cryptography mailing lists. Between 1992 and 2008, more than 34,000 unique users posted to these lists. That is our starting suspect pool. By systematically applying data-driven filters based on the behavioral traits Satoshi left behind, we can strip away the noise and reduce thousands of potential candidates down to a single identity. We start with a simple baseline. If a user never posted about electronic cash, we drop them. That instantly collapses the field from 34,000 down to a concentrated group of 620 candidates. While 620 candidates remain, the field narrows significantly when we look for the small handful of people whose work provided the technical foundation for Bitcoin itself. That leads us to a British cryptographer named Adam Back. Back is essential to this history because in 1997 he invented Hashcash. It was a protocol designed to fight email spam by forcing a sender's computer to solve a math puzzle before a message could be delivered. In 1997, Back suggests using his protocol as a postage fee so celebrities can filter their inboxes. A decade later, Satoshi proposes the exact same obscure use case for Bitcoin, using almost identical logic to describe a priority hotline for famous people. Back didn't just participate in the community, he authored the blueprint that Satoshi cited in the Bitcoin white paper 11 years later. Next, we map out their behavioral timelines. In April 2011, after 2 years of daily collaboration with other developers, Satoshi sent his final message and vanished from the internet. Despite spending a decade debating electronic money, Adam Back stayed silent on Bitcoin until exactly 2013, the moment he suddenly entered the community, founded a company called Blockstream, and eventually amassed a massive personal fortune. 2 years later, the community was fractured over a proposal to increase the size of Bitcoin's data blocks. Right as the debate peaked, an email from Satoshi's old account suddenly materialized to weigh in. This appearance effectively eliminates other leading candidates like Hal Finney and Len Sassaman. Both of those men had already passed away by the time this 2015 message was sent. What stands out in that 2015 message is the vocabulary. Satoshi denounced the proposal as dangerous, using terms like consensus rules and technical to describe the network. These are the exact terms Adam Back was using in his own posts during that same week. Their activity patterns form a perfect negative space. When one identity goes dormant, the other activates. Our final filter relies on stylometry, the science of analyzing a writer's linguistic fingerprint. Satoshi knew all about this advanced technique and actively tried to defeat it by consciously altering his writing style. While he could fake a broad accent, he couldn't hide his unconscious grammatical habits. Look at how they both chose to describe their own skills. In these 2 separate emails, written years apart, both men used nearly identical phrasing to admit they were better at coding than at writing. They also shared a list of specific, rare errors. They both put 2 spaces after their sentences. They both confused its, and they both possessed a habit of incorrectly hyphenating compound nouns like proof of work, a mistake almost no one else in the cryptography community was making. We trained an AI model on the New York Times stylebook and mapped 325 distinct grammatical errors across Satoshi's entire catalog. When we ran that error profile against the remaining suspects, Adam Back emerged as the absolute statistical outlier. Out of the 34,000 original users, he is the only person who fits the data. For his part, Adam Back has issued a firm denial, claiming that coincidences like these are inevitable in such a long investigation.
Within the cryptocurrency world, there is only one universally accepted standard of proof. A definitive confirmation would require the movement of Satoshi's original, dormant coins. Until then, the data remains a collection of highly specific correlations rather than a definitive confession. Satoshi Nakamoto